everybody. So I'm going to do another soul rebirth journey, and this one is for his name is Johannes, and this is quite a unique scenario. So he sort of has this experience of feeling soulless. Nobody is soulless. I have not, let's just say, I've not come across somebody who does not have a soul as of yet. So we just have to figure out what is going on there, right? I've heard it before that the soul can leave the body and then another soul inhabit it. I've heard of this happening, but I have not, until I see it for myself. I'm not saying that I don't believe that, because I do. I do relate to that being a possibility, that the soul could leave for a period, and so then the body is sort of on its own. I don't really know how it functions without a soul, but Spirit Realm is saying that is not the case with this. So Johannes does have a soul. There's also an alien being involved too, and the alien being is very kind, and I've interacted with this alien being myself. Alien beings are such a variety, and they're sort of they have their own sort of way about their identity is sort of unique. So a human being has its own identity. A gray alien has their identity. Palladian has their identity. Alien beings we don't even know about have their own identities. This alien being is not one that I've ever heard of. Basically, the only way to describe the way he looks, because when I see him, he's of a male expression, or he feels like a male identity, but I have seen him with like a female version of his form, but he is the primary one, which he is male, and this is a connectiveness between our three souls even. So soul of Johannes, soul of alien, which I call A. Alien has a name, but I don't know how to pronounce it, and then so I just call alien as A, and then my soul. So our three souls. There's value to this. This is going to be a super huge deal. Johannes is willing to let me share this publicly. I'm kind of doing this just for experimental purposes, and then also just to demonstrate. I want to see if I could do a rebirth journey by video. I want to see what the flow is like, and I want to see how the sort of feels, and then I think there's value too, to allowing others to see, feel, experience the sensation of what is a rebirth journey, what is spiritual healing, how does spiritual healing work, what can we learn from this journey. I think it's sort of like an open classroom where everybody's involved, even though we have sort of a specific focal point, which is Johannes today. I'm not really sure where to get started. This has been a really big, overwhelming deal for me for about 2 weeks, preparing for this, and so I don't really know how to define how do I prepare for this, but I have felt some certain things that need to be sort of cleaned out of my own sort of closet. So ways that I need to face my own. Like I need to heal myself before I can heal others, right? This, like Jesus always said, heal thyself in order to heal others. And that's true, but most of us don't really know how deep we need to go in order to heal ourselves. So I have to do my own personal journeys on myself in order to locate the areas that need healing, in order that I can be the most profound healer for others too. So I'm not just here saying that I need healing too, you know. We're all humans. We've all lived a very difficult life. We all need healing. We all need love. We all need attention and nurturing and all of that. So there's value here, because there's three souls, right? So three. We have a triangle. We have 1, 2, 3, all in a connection. And this sort of triangle is really important. This is a really important element to this healing journey. I don't know what the importance is as of yet. It's some sort of relationship with Egypt, potentially. I don't know what's going to come out. That might come out. What also may come out is some sort of, I'm hearing the word worship. And they're not saying worship of what, but it sounds like worshiping the wrong way. worshiping the wrong entity. But I don't know just yet. I only heard the word worship and got a very brief sensation of something that was corruption. Until I get into the journey itself, I don't really know what's going to come. And then this Apple alien, his name is Apple as far as I'm concerned. But he's really sweet. I have personally interacted with him. I actually, our souls have a connection. Alien beings are also souls incarnated too, exploring their own unique spiritual journey. Our souls, so human beings, here we are incarnated as a human being. You can incarnate in more than one body at the same time. So while you're simultaneously exploring Earth, you are simultaneously also exploring other planets. And that's so I don't know where to begin with this. I'm working with the spirit realm to sort of help me talk through this. This is gonna be one long video. So I'm gonna describe what Apple looks like to me. He's got a very round. So his head is really long, okay, like really long. And it's sort of rounded like this on top, and then it comes down and then rounds out too at the chin. So he's like super long head. Like, what are those stone statues that are sort of on an island, and they're just these giant heads that are just massive stone heads? He sort of has this like massive head, and it's really long like this, and then it's so massive, and then it would hide his neck, so to speak. And then he just has a normal sort of shape of a body, as in shoulders, 2 arms. So he has a structured body like a human being. He has a massive head, and he does not have skin that looks like human skin. His skin is sort of like a patchy. Every time I see him, it's always sort of a patchy color of like blues and greens, and gray even. Maybe even like a lighter gray. It could almost be white. It's not white though, but it has this patchiness to it. And he has 2 eyes and a mouth, and I can't understand his nose. Maybe it would just be like a snake has sort of like slits, or I don't really understand how his nose, it's not projected out of his face as far as I can tell. Do not perceive him to have a nose like that. So, they're wanting for me to talk about my relationship with alien beings, because this journey isn't just about Johannes. We're going to understand quite a lot in this journey experience. So I have sort of like a very disagreeable relationship with alien beings, believe it or not, because they're not, it really wasn't, it's so like I have Avery, the human alien. I have no, so he's very kind, he's very amazing, special, best, soulmate. There's Ipagus, there's all these alien beings. So sort of like my soulmates in alien forms, I feel a great deal of love and connection towards them. But any alien being that I don't know yet, I'm just sort of on guard and like, get away from me. I just don't want to deal with them. I just don't want to be around them. This is just the way I am. So I wasn't very nice to Apple at first because I just didn't want to get to know him. This is Johannes's deal. I don't really need to get to know you, Apple, in order to complete this journey. But the vibration was just so kind, and then patient even. And it was enough where over time, it's sort of like a timid squirrel eventually will eat out of your hand, if you are patient enough, and then repetition as well. The squirrel then will learn to trust you. So I'm that way too. But eventually then, I allowed myself to sort of spiritually experience sort of his energy, and so basically I opened up to allow a connection to take place in order for me to comprehend. And he really is, he's like, after I did it, I was like, wow, I'm such a jerk. I shouldn't have been that way. I remember you. This Apple is a soulmate of mine too. So I have soul memories with this alien being. It's a very sincere, loving, kind alien being. Not all aliens are here to harm us, all right? Some of them really are very kind and loving, like long lost friends, that are just souls incarnated into other bodies in other places in the universe. And so when their souls can sort of find their soul kin, is like a really joyful reunion experience. So for me to reunite with Apple, even alone, is just really special. So I'm really glad that happened, and I'm glad that I was able to open up. So I do. I'm not always nice to aliens. I was like, go bother somebody else. I've got enough going on in my life. I don't want to deal with you. But I have this important purpose. It's not just to work with spirit realm. Every realm is spiritual. Even the densest realms are spiritual realms. Even alien beings are reflections of an infinite spiritual universe. And so I just, it's just can be too much sometimes. But I did. So now I have a connection with Apple and a connection with Johannes, and now I feel the oneness of the triangle then that heals. There's a rebirth of all three of our souls about to take place. And I think that's probably why I've been so tired today. I know that this rebirth process is like a hardcore big deal because of so much energy download, that takes place. And so when that happens, you're going to feel really wiped out. You might feel really just really like you're standing under like a giant's foot because the energy download is so hardcore. It's like some full moons, some new moons, you're just like, what happened? I don't know why, but I just feel like I can't get anything done. I'm exhausted. I can't think right. I'm irritable. I'm confused. Just out of nowhere. You just for like 5 straight days. And it's just the moon. It's just the moon cycle and the energy, and it just happens to be impacting us in this way. So these rebirth journeys do this too. Once you get to the other side of the energy download, it's like, wow, I'm seeing with new eyes. I'm not the same. I'm amazing. I feel amazing now. And that's the truth. So I'm still learning. See, I'm still learning how far these things go, but I'm learning this is the most impactful thing I can give. And that's why I keep showcasing it, because it is going to heal as many people as like, I want to heal as many people as I can with this. Anybody who's interested. So I don't even know how to get started. I'm sort of overwhelmed. Because of this reality. So, okay, so Johannes has shared several spiritual gifts. So he has a cat named Mex, and then he has created this amazing Egyptian piano song. It's so beautiful. It's really impressive. Everybody has like a really impressive talent, and it's like the last thing you ever expected. So it's like I'm doing this for him, and then I channel a permission slip. Permission slip then is to release from soul contracts, and then to inspire the greatest healing from the spirit realm. And then also he shared spiritual gifts with me in order, gifts that I can take on the journey in order to heal us, to provide the most profound healing. And so this sort of loving bond he has with his cat, Mex, is gonna, we'll see how Mex helps us. So it's really exciting to just see how these spiritual tools work in the healing process, and then in the rebirth process. And then he sort of like surprised me with this really incredible Egyptian piano song he made. It's really cool. So I'm going to be sharing that at the end of the video. It's like really awesome. And then he has colors too. So the colors he's sharing is red, black, and green. So I'm curious to see how these... Alright, so I'm being shown images and I need to get started now. I do need to drink coffee because I am I've been really overwhelmed, really tired today, and I know it's just energy downloads, so I'm trying to wake myself up, so I have the energy to get through this. Okay. So just relaxing. Alright, so it is a doorway into a pyramid itself. This is where the most profound healing takes place, is within the pyramid. Apple is at the doorway, opening door for us both to enter, all of us to enter. I'm starting to see him with greater clarity. He sort of has a mouth like Groot, from like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Sort of like there's no teeth in there. and so his mouth is kind of like that. Um, and then it's just like the lips are just sort of kind of come in. I just can't see that there are teeth in there. He has just a really long head. Um, so we're walking into a dark space. Inside the pyramid is all dark. There's souls inside the pyramid. Many, many souls trapped inside of the pyramid itself. Um, I don't even know what to make of that. And I'm not hearing anything. I'm ensuring that I'm connected with my guides in preparation. This whole thing has like been a big deal, getting to this point, so I'm just sort of still like off foot, because it's just such a big deal. Um, Learning experience. So they're saying, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you understand? So I'm inside a pyramid. Um, this is solid. The ground is solid. It is dark. I can't see clearly. I can't comprehend anything through sight. But yet I can tell that there's motions of sort of light entities, that sort of disappear into darkness. But there's so many sort of like swooping around or trying to get out of a contained space. Inside a contained space. They're saying, do you know what happened here? I say, I don't know. Souls trapped inside, actually. Souls trapped inside is what they say. Even my soul trapped inside. How many souls do you have? Do you know? Do you, like, trying to define a number of how many expressions are the reflection of one soul? Do you know? And I say, I still have not quite understood this, but I know that we aren't just one soul. One soul has many reflections, and so those reflections are part of every single experience that takes place in incarnation cycles and in the spirit realm, and your soul can have many identities. One soul can have many identities, and I still can't understand how souls get trapped in places, but they do. This entrapment had to do with, it wasn't related to some sort of device. A device that was a gift by realms in order to manipulate the reincarnation of souls on planet Earth, even. It's really dark. This really has something to do with very dark energy and really dark choices, people choosing darkness in order to find enlightenment, even. People choosing to use souls themselves in order to empower themselves. This is really interesting, creepy. The feeling is, I'm just going to describe it. So here I am. I want to become all powerful, right? So all powerful, sort of in a manipulation of itself. What is all powerful exactly? And so all powerful in the sense that now I am in control of others. Now I control others. So now I'm more powerful because I use control in order to set myself apart from the rest. So now control itself is a reflection of the divine sort of nightmare, even. Divine nightmare, divine chaos, using control as method to create power. So I choose to basically steal souls, and then the energy itself sort of. This action alone allows me to suck the power out of an infinite soul in order to give the power to myself now. So now my soul is sort of like growing infinitely through taking the power out of other souls. I don't really know how this is possible. I don't know how this works, but this specifically has to do with a pyramid. Souls trapped inside of a pyramid. I don't know how many souls are in here right now. It doesn't seem like a very big space. They're saying it's an infinite space. It was created, it's like the internet. How big can the internet get? It's like an infinite space of sharing wisdom. It just keeps growing. So this too, it will never be too small. It will just grow to whatever size is necessary in order to keep containing souls. So souls to get trapped inside this pyramid even. So we're peeling off the layers of the pyramid, and now the pyramid is sort of like has this sort of rock or some sort of liner that is rock. I don't know what they use to build pyramids with, but it's like hardened sand. And it's sort of peeling back like a banana. And now all the sides are down, and we have a giant crystal. So it's almost like the pyramid was created from a crystal to begin with, and then the rock went on the outside, or the sand just was sort of packed on the outside of it. And so these souls are literally trapped inside here, like wanting to get out of here. So I'm supposed to channel light even down to the tip of the pyramid, the point of the pyramid. It is horrible. I'm on the outside looking in, and it would be like hell inside of the pyramid where these souls are trapped. It's almost gruesome. I still haven't figured out how to get them out yet, and it's sort of because I'm seeing this. It's sort of like it's horrible. What I'm seeing inside on the other side of the glass is absolutely terrible. It is like torture. Um, let's just say bodies being ripped apart, souls never finding solidity or relief from this. The energy is hardcore right now. Everything is changing. Because I am seeing this myself, now I am acknowledging this. There's truth to this wisdom. I don't know. I still, as a human being, Abby, I don't. All I can do is share what comes. You get to do whatever you want with it. I don't know what it means. I'm just sharing as it comes. So, everything can change because I choose to see now. And the energy is really strong right now. It's almost like a tornado of energy. Tornado. They're like channeling source energy. They even, because it is so much stronger than I could even do on my own. So there's many involved in this. I sort of had to be the beginning part of this in order to lift this curse or something. They are channeling white light down from heaven because the time this has been sort of a disgrace, sort of like a just a absolute it's just blasphemous that this happened. Sort of almost feels like enrage, in like a sensation of souls being enraged that this has happened, and nobody can get create the ripple of change. So now ripple of change is granted, and it's so profound that I can't do it alone. In fact, now there's like super hardcore unveiling of this. It's like Niagara Falls of white light pouring down on top of this glass pyramid. Now it's sort of unearthed or unrooted this truth revealed. I still don't know what's. All I can do is wait. I'm just waiting right now. I'm just seeing this sort of disgusting torment happening to the souls inside, and it's. I'm just waiting for everything to change. They're saying everything is changing. This is a big deal. They're like telling me it's okay to drink this coffee right now. There's something awful now. So these sort of like entities that are troublemakers, right? They really think it's delicious. Torturing souls is like the most delicious thing. It is like an orgasmic experience for them. Why would they ever stop? Why would they ever give that up? They're really obsessed with eating the energy itself. Digesting is very orgasmic to do this. And so when I get to see them sort of licking their chops and sort of that sort of way about them, I'm not mad about it. I don't. I actually understand. I actually understand from the level of soul, and so it doesn't. I do not feel like fighting. I do not feel like pain, or all I want to do is heal. That's all I care about. And then separate. What is the purpose here? Purpose is to heal, and now entity must find work elsewhere. Entity now to move on. I don't have any judgment against their choices, because that is not for me to judge them. I just try here to share the wisdom as it comes. All right, without being judgmental. So he's just standing there still looking at me. The energy is hardcore. There's like so many angels and so many swarms of entities of the light, white light, sort of heavenly entities, charged with I can't describe it. It's just so many. It's like a spirit. It's like an army of love, an army of angels, an army of like spiritual entities of white light coming to the pyramid. There's so much white light still pouring down in order to release all these souls. They're showing me this sort of it's opening like this, and then as it opens out comes sort of like burst of energy. So we're just waiting still. They're like, do you know what you have accomplished? And I'm like, all I know is I'm just sharing the wisdom, and I hope that it provides profound healing for the planet and all human beings. So I'm just waiting. Man. There's like, it's sort of like they aren't gonna let me get away with not acknowledging that something really good just happened. Because I too was trapped inside that pyramid. I too have been trapped in that pyramid. And people don't understand this. I still don't quite understand all this. That's part of the experience, you know? It's part of what has happened here, is like a monumental corruption of a species trying to grow and develop, and then to be contained inside this infinite pyramid, and tortured, even souls tortured. That is the reflection of hell, is torture, right? So now it could only have been done this way, that I would then choose to help release souls. That's why I've been so exhausted, because I've sensed this coming. That's why I've been so nervous as well. They're like, you know how sometimes you just feel something's about to happen before it happens, and it makes you really uncomfortable. And then once it happens, it's sort of like, wow, why was I so uncomfortable? Sometimes healing does that. Healing makes us feel worse before it makes us feel better. And so you just have to sort of wait through it. So they're like really, it's like a really big deal that this has happened. I'm still not understanding what they're telling me, but I'm seeing a profound purple energy now. This is a big deal that it is purple specifically. It is even a dark purple color. I don't understand if it's going in or coming out. But it has to do with this as well. It could only be described as ginormous purple hands. I'm speaking like God's hands, coming down from the heavens and sort of lifting up the ground, or all these souls, and then bringing them up into the white light. The souls themselves are confused. They don't even know what to do right now. They've been contained, so now this container is open, sort of like a really tightly sealed, it's like locks in the freshness, you know, tightly sealed like Tupperware container, now is open, and now the light and the healing and the everything can come in and embrace everything that was inside for so long. So Apple has a lot to do with this. He's so, the only way I could describe it is that so here we are incarnated, right? And so we're sort of patchy on what our understanding of ourselves is, our identity, and the history of mankind and the truth behind what has happened here. So you have these alien entities who understand because they are outside of the pyramid, right? That is the only way I could describe it. Apple is outside the pyramid. Apple knows and sees and understands the truth because his incarnation cycle has allowed him to sort of escape the Tupperware containment. And so now he knows. And so he must find souls of his sort of soul kin in order to release the souls that are in containment through the channeling of higher wisdom. And so, Johannes, seriously, now that once this work is totally complete, you'll be able to hear Apple very well. In fact, you'll be able to hear him so well that he might as well be like a recorder, like a microphone, because your soul connection is really sincere, really tuned to one another. Even I am really tuned to this Apple. So I'm like, they're reminding me how I chose to reject Apple. I was like, I want nothing to do with you. Get away from me. But because of his patience, he wasn't insistent. So I sort of like, we don't always know what we're getting ourselves into, right? So how do you test the waters? How do you experience a level of trust and knowing that you're safe to open yourself up to an invisible person, basically? You can trust when you choose to ignore them. If they accept that, that is a good sign. He was not trying to force himself into my world, you know? And then also he was very loving. Every time I would just sort of check to see what his feeling was, it was always the same very loving feeling. Manipulators cannot, they would manipulate the feeling of unconditional love by creating like sort of fabricated, I don't know how you would describe what a fabricated feeling of love is, but you can tell the difference between unconditional love and sort of like, I'm going to make you feel awesome. I'm going to be a really good friend to you. That's manipulated love. True love is unconditional, and it sort of allows you to find trust in it, and then feel it, and then embrace it, and then be embraced by it. So there's no harm in me allowing myself to open up to Apple. So, okay. All right. So I'm just waiting here. I'm just going to put this on stop for a moment. I'm just going to come right back. So, in fact, I'm just going to pause this out, and then we can hear, I'm going to play some of Johannes's beautiful Egyptian song for us. And then when we come back, I'll get to the next part of the journey. This is literally a hardcore thing, and I need a break for a minute, because that was a really big deal. So I'll be right back.